Hey, Sean, this is a really important time in our history to journal, to write down what we're thinking and feeling, because while I'm sure you think you'll never forget how you feel right now and how ridiculous this has been, I think the truth is that when life gets back to some sort of normal, you are going to forget some of the things that you've learned. And so I think it's really important that we write things down. And I made a video about this a couple weeks ago. But I realized if you're anything like me, you might think that you're too cool to journal. And I'll tell you, it's true. Journaling seems like it can be something that losers do or that nerds do, and you're cool, you don't need to write about your feelings. But I've got 3 little tips that can help you journal while still being cool, but really for you to trust me. Give me just a second. So let's get right into it. The first thing, if you're too cool to journal, you might be thinking, hey, I don't have time to write every morning or every night. I can't be spending my whole life writing down how I'm feeling. I'm not gonna have time to go out and launch sweet tricks and have those feelings if I'm spending all my time writing about feelings. So rule number 1, don't bother having a schedule. Go write after you're done watching this video. Obviously watch the whole thing, but go write down how you're feeling and then don't worry about it. Don't worry about trying to do it every week or every other day or every Sunday night, anything like that. Forget a schedule. Just do something once, maybe do it 2 days in a row and forget about it. And if you never go back to it, that's fine. You'll have something. So don't worry about trying to establish a journaling routine. Just write some stuff one time and you will be better off for it in the long run. Tip number 2, you don't have to have a diary. I know you're probably thinking you need to go buy a furry diary with a little lock on the front of it that says My Diary. You don't. A couple pieces of paper you can shove in a drawer, an email you write to yourself. Anything like that can be a great little journal for this little bit of journaling that you should do. And more than that, one of my favorite ways to journal is by either recording a voice memo where you can get out your phone, get out whatever device, your computer, and just talk. Just talk and record it, or better yet, make a video. If you pass this along one day, your grandkids, sure, they'd be able to read what you've written, but how cool would it be if they could see young, snappy dressing you, fresh back from the skate park, talking about how you feel and what you learned from all this coronavirus nonsense or whatever's going on in your life. The other advantage to using a few different ways to journal, not just writing, but voice memos or drawing pictures or video, is that it enables you to think differently. The way that I talk when I'm forced to talk unbroken, like in a voice memo or in a video, is different than the way that I sit and I write. I write slower than I talk, and so it makes me think a little differently. And so there's a strength to trying it in a couple different ways and seeing what you think as you do these different things. And I think you may surprise yourself with some of the things that you come up with. And lastly, as you actually go to begin composing, whether you're writing or talking or making a video, whatever it is, I have 3 different approaches that you can use to get you started if you don't really know what to do. Number 1, just go stream of consciousness. 3, 2, 1, go. Start writing. Start writing about whatever you're writing. Write about journaling for the first time, what you think about that. Or if there's something you saw in the news or heard a friend say that you hadn't thought of before, like a new perspective or some insight, a funny meme that summarized some things that maybe you were thinking or that you can relate to, find something and just go. Don't think about it, just start writing, start talking, whatever. Start flowing from that, and I think you'll find some things different than how you think normally in your own head when you're forced to sort of put it out there and start to form it into more of a logical conversation. Number 2, make a list. Make a list of all the things without going into details. Make a list of quickly how you feel about your job, your relationships, what's going on in the world right now, your community, your recreational habits, your daily routines. All these things are changing and you have different emotions about all of them. So before you go into one and start flowing on one topic, take a step back and look at everything. Try to make a catalog of all the different things you may be feeling, then go back in, and as far as you can make it in the list, start to add details. And if you're anything like me, you run out of steam journaling after a little while, and I don't always make it to the end of my list, but I'm glad that I went through at the top and made a list so that I did at least touch on some of the things. And I know the next time I sit down to journal, or if I'm like at the skate park and I just want to pop out my phone and journal there, then I can pick up on that list from where I was and talk about what's been updated and what's been changing. But that way you get sort of a comprehensive view of a lot of the things that you may be feeling. Lastly, and this is one of my favorites, think of if you could transport back in time to another historical moment in our past and say to the president at the time or your grandparents or a celebrity or a movie star or whatever, whoever you're thinking of, what interview questions would you ask them? And if now you could interview anybody, what would you ask them? If you could interview Oprah about what's happening right now, what she wishes she could do or what she wishes she could have done differently, or any celebrity, politician, anything, think about the questions you would ask them and then answer those questions yourself. That's been one of my favorite things to do right now, is to sort of think bigger questions, something beyond what I think I would be equipped to answer, and forcing myself to come to an answer for it. And I think through that, I've reflected in some different ways than I normally would. So that's it. If you have any tips, reflections, or sweet tricks that you want to throw in the comments below, that'd be awesome. Thanks for watching. See you later. Bye.